Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So here we're going to be talking about those things that we don't want to talk about, but yet they matter to us. It will be centered around the weighty talks, as in a weight, or heavy talks. So what are those things that affect our lives, impact the way we treat people, but then we never get to talk about them? Is there some possibility of restoration, some possibility of getting a smile back on our faces and a smile that reflects the state of our hearts as well? So that's what we'll be talking about here. And of course, if this is of interest to you, you could already hit that subscribe button, and why not put on the notification bell such that you always get to know when we have content here. Thank you very much. So I don't know what you think, but then in the society, we tend to have experiences, and those experiences sometimes leave us with marks. I guess there's something that came to your mind just when we said that. Wow, sometimes we just end up saying that is life. But then, do we just forget? Do we move on? Or the pain is still there and we just struggle to cope with it? And that's like what we will be doing. Somehow we'll be voicing out what is within that has not been voiced, and we'll be calling on ourselves to have a retrospect, to look deep into our lives and be sure that we are at peace within, just as it seems like we are at peace without. Because sometimes that is the case. We are actually at peace without, or we seem to be at peace without, but then there is a battle going on in our minds. So that's what we'll be talking about here. So let's start the introduction. I am called Ayiketa Peloben. I'm a Christian, and that should really tell you the kind of content you'll be receiving here. And even if you're not a Christian, I would like you to still follow this content, listen to the things that we are saying, and this could as well be helpful to you. In short, I am sure it will be helpful to you. So I'm called Ayiketa Pel Oben. I'm a Christian. I'm also a medical doctor, and I have an interest in legal medicine. Presently, I'm furthering my education in that regard, and as well with a keen focus towards traumatic experiences, managing physical and sexual violence, be it clinically or psychosocially. So that's a bit about me. Other things, I'm an editor and a writer, and I edit scientific content. Sometimes I edit non-scientific content. Like a lot of what we'll be doing here would be kind of non-scientific content. And my hobby, well, I just love talking when it's mentoring, kind of, yes. And I also love having time just to sit by myself and just think. And more recently in my life, I'm enjoying giving myself a treat. Yeah, I'm sure some people be like, wow, when they hear me say that. Yeah, I enjoy that, just having time to take myself out, and okay, I love that too. So that's a little about me. My life is centered around youth. I see it like my purpose to really help youths live life to the best of their potentials with the help of Christ. Because I know that everything is centered around Christ. Only in Christ can we have a fully fulfilled life. So that's it about me. Well, you could also take some time to say something about you. If once you see the video, it would be nice to know who are those subscribing, what are their lives about, and if they share similar views to what is being shared here. So that's it for me. So I would say I would like us to have to go through the passage Philippians 4 verse 8. Philippians 4 verse 8, just giving you time to open it where you are. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Wow. I don't know if you had ever taken note of that passage before. You could leave your answers in the comment section. But then it's a passage that I had heard before, and one of the first times I heard it, it was really very striking to me. Like the way the person spoke about it, whatsoever things are true, like saying what are the things that we think of, what are the things that govern our minds. The fact that it's not a an evil thought, does it make it the kind of thoughts that we should dwell on, the kind of thoughts that we should think on? Because sometimes we are like, it's not, I'm not thinking bad about somebody, I'm not wishing that somebody should fall or something like that. And then we are like, okay, so I am free to think what I want to think, it's my mind. But then if you share these values, if you're a Christian, and even if you're not a Christian, we will come to realize that when we dwell on things that are not true, things that are not honest, things that are not lovely, okay, when we dwell on not this type of things, there is that tendency for us to enter a place of mental health disorders. There is that tendency. I mean, if it sounds like a big name, you could just say there's that tendency for you to get into stress when these are not the things you dwell on, for us to feel overwhelmed, or to feel depressed. I mean, and I know what I'm talking about. I know what it means to be in that place where you let certain thoughts take a hold of you, or have space that they shouldn't have had. So, kind of, is it possible that a lot of what we see around us is based on the fact that people don't dwell on these things? What do you think? I don't know if you've ever given it time to think, even if you have read this passage before. Is it possible that a lot of the things that people go through, that they find themselves immersed, or they feel like they are stuck in, and some people even end up with causing themselves harm, engaging in self-harm? Could it be possible that all of this is based on the fact that we don't dwell on the things that we should dwell on, that we don't think about the things that are true or honest or just or pure or lovely, things that are of good report, things that have virtue, things that can be praised? Okay, is it possible that when by not thinking on these things, that is where most of the challenges that that stand before our minds, is it possible that that is where they are harnessed and built up, in the wrong thoughts, in the thoughts that are not helpful, in the thoughts that are not lovely, when we sit and we think that no one really loves me, my life is a mess, I'll never make it big? Or what are the challenges that we harness in such an environment, in such an atmosphere? Have you ever wondered what made people take away their lives? I mean, I believe, or I'll not say I believe, sometimes you get those news reports, you see it on the news or on your phone, a message, and they talk about someone who did something, who attempted to take away their lives. I'm sure everyone watching must have heard such a report about someone who committed suicide. And have you ever asked yourself the question, what takes someone to that level? What manner of frustration? And maybe, have you ever asked yourself, maybe or maybe not, what happens to people when they choose to willfully take away their own lives? I don't know if you have the answers to those questions. But then, is it really the ideal place to be? Have you ever heard of a situation that someone committed suicide and their loved ones were happy about it? Their friends, I mean. So, but do we think that such acts were always connected to the ones who truly loved them? Maybe, maybe not. But then, what pushes people to that level? And what can we do? to stop things from escalating to such options or to such a scenario. Those are really the things that we want to dwell on. Okay, and we will already be rounding off and ending the video for today. Okay, please ensure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell such that when next we put up a video, it will be available to you. Definitely we want to make this something regular and counting on your support to make this happen. So I'll just leave you with this passage, and when thoughts come that want to push you down, feel overwhelming, make you doubt yourself, your potential, what you think you should be doing on this earth, I want you to just remember Philippians 4 verse 8 and to intentionally speak it out. You can memorize it. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. You would call your name and say, finally, Pearl, finally, Evelyn, finally, Stella, finally, Frank, Mark, whatsoever your name is. I mean, I'm just calling the names at random, but it might just be your name and this message is coming very timely to you. Tell yourself, I would think of things that are true. Talk to yourself and say, Belle, think of things that are true. Think of things that are lovely. Think of things that are worthy of praise. Think of things that are virtuous. Speak it to yourself and don't give in to depression. Don't give in to those sad feelings. I mean, it's a battle that you need to win in your mind. You need to win it right there, declaring those words, because people, we can talk to you, but none of us can place ourselves in your mind. So you need to win that battle in your mind. Courage to you. Hope you enjoyed the session of today, what we were talking about. Please do leave your comments. I mean, even in the DM. However, just talk about what you feel about the things that we have shared. You could mention topics that that you hold to heart in regard to the things that we have already said. Those heavy talks or those weighty talks that you want us to have. So go ahead and mention them. And I wish you a lovely day. I wish you a happy day. Indeed, may you be strengthened and may you enjoy favor this day and all through your week. Wheresoever you're watching from, feel free to mention. Let's know how wide and broad we are reaching out to. And thank you for staying right up to the end. Nice day and nice week.